That might take it forever. I think it's Gucci. Gucci.
Good now.
All right, we are live, and we are before we forget the podcast where I'm Duran,
And I'm Mike.
and we like to keep it short and sweet. This is a surprise podcast going live. So, Mike, you got a question for me, bro?
I do. Duran, this is a more of a serious one. Do you think you're taking care of yourself like you should?
No, no, not at all.
Why?
Absolutely not. I don't have no self care regimen. Like outside of your normal, shebang bang. Oh, Lauren busting. Outside of your normal shebang bang, I ain't got no self care, like motivation, nothing going on outside of the norm. Obviously, my family motivates me, and whatnot. But right now, it's about me. And the question was self care. I don't have any self care. Like, I'm just a wild card. I'm rolling in the wind, man. Like Tupac said.
So, physically, do you feel like you're taking care of yourself like you should?
I mean, as of recently, in the last 4 months, I do believe so. We've been trying to get our sexy back, dad bod gang. That's where we at right now. But we trying to get swole. Y'all see the definition in the arm. We getting there. But other than that, nah, dog. And really, it wasn't even like the last year or two of my life where I really started trying to get myself together physically, where I had to sit down and take inventory for myself.
So, at what point do you feel like you stopped really taking care of yourself? Or do you feel like you were ever taking care of yourself?
I was a point in time, that was ages ago. I can say that was literally like a decade and some change, probably. Couldn't tell you what the catalyst was to make that something I was not doing, but I think it happens to everybody over time. You just do it without knowing. It's like a mental switch that clicks. But for me, I always roll in uncertainty anyway, so I guess it just felt like home to me. It didn't really feel different.
Right.
Looking at it through adult scope, that's why I said I don't have that regimen. Now, could I form the regimen? Probably.
Why haven't you?
That's a good question. That's why I had to decide like that. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's just a mental thing. That's just a mental game. I can handle a lot of things in a mental capacity, and some things I just prioritize more than others. So I don't feel like my self care is an immediate threat to my health.
Yeah. I feel like this is a question that everybody needs to ask and answer. Because if we're being truthful on my end, I know for a fact I'm not taking care of myself. When we say physically, yeah, but like you said, we've been working out, we've been doing that, but like I still haven't been to the doctor this year, and I've been telling myself make an appointment because I don't know. I don't know if it's not that I'm scared of what she's gonna say because my doctor's like brutally honest, but like with a good bedside manner. But she's just like, don't take my crap from me, which is good. But I just feel like I don't know.
That makes sense. But then the same question applies to you. So is that a mental thing for you, or is that a pride thing?
No, it's not a pride at all. Like I mean, the pride would stop me from saying I'm not taking care of myself. And I know it. I mean, I feel like everybody who's not taking care of themselves know it. So no, it's not a pride thing at all. I think it's partially mental. Part of me is that like I feel like I give and take care of so many other people that sometimes it's like, when is somebody gonna bring it back and make sure I'm taken care of? And I'm not saying like I don't have people in my life who do or try, because I'm stubborn.
Right, but I understand what you're saying.
Right.
So how many times have we gotten into a debate? Not an argument, but a debate
Call
about
it what
this.
it is. Argument, debate, whatever.
Okay.
You chewing me out, I'm chewing you out, whatever.
Argument. How many times have I told you about that?
Yeah. I mean, countless, but you're not the only one. It's just, it's a thing where sometimes I feel like people can give so much of themselves to others that they forget to take care of themselves or they neglect themselves. And I find myself doing that a lot more than I like. Um, I even think that, like, when I think about my job that I do on a day to day basis, it's literally giving myself to other people and taking care of other people. Um, and it's better than where I was. I mean, where I was previously, because I neglected myself a lot. And I think, I mean, you saw it there. You worked with me there. There was a neglect there that went on for years where I put the job, I put everything ahead of myself. And so here I've formed healthy habits by trying not to do that anymore. But it's still not where it should be.
Now, see, my thing is, I'm messed up. So whenever I see somebody in the same domain as me, and I'll pull up and be like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend," I'll be like, "Now you know you're messing up in life if I can see you. So what are you doing here? I know why I'm here, but why are you here?"
But it's easier to tell somebody something that you feel like you should tell yourself. Like, when I see, like, I tell you all the time, like, hey, don't be overworking yourself, man. It's just like you getting paid the same amount either way. Don't overwork yourself. But then, like, that's stuff that I should be telling myself. Yet I can tell you, and it's easier for me to tell you because I'm living in it. And I
Right.
think that's the same way. Like, you're in the darkness. It's easier to tell somebody, hey, don't come in here. Ain't nothing good down here. But to get yourself out of that, it's a lot harder.
You know what I mean? But the guy is like, "Hey, what you doing in here? Nothing. Just hanging around, just chilling."
Just chilling
That's
down here.
me, but I'm comfortable with that because that's something that I've learned to navigate. So I don't even count that as a non self care thing, and maybe that's a toxic trait in itself, but toxic towards me. But for the most part, I think it lets me draw close and become relatable to folks. I can relate to a lot of people that way because now where else you gonna go? You can't get no lower than this, so might as well talk to me about it and see what we could do. I mean, that's just how I look at it, honestly. For the most part, I don't think nobody can say that they have a regimen or where they take care of themselves, where it's something that you just go out and do. Uh, Whether it's the simple thing like gaming, where we say, go touch some grass. You've been playing the game too much, man. It's okay to be good at it, but you like overkill. And really, it's a funny term, but it's really being for real. Like, go outside and connect with reality. Go do something because you need that. And so, I say it all the time. We, as humans, as people, are tangible people. What that means, because Michael says I use big words, that's not a big one. It means that we are connected. So we have to feel things. Everybody wants to feel something. Everybody wants to be in a space where they don't want to feel alone. As much as we say, I'm an introvert, I want to be by myself, I want to do this, you don't. How many times do you see somebody that may not have as much as you? Don't they have a dog with them? Don't they have somebody following them around? And that's somebody who we consider to be less fortunate, but yet they have companionship, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing with us. Everybody wants somebody to be there. So if you sad, you want somebody else to be sad. Or if you find somebody else sad, then y'all forge a bond. And that's because that's how we are. We tangible people. So it's like you said when we was in Texas. Some people form trauma bonds. I got hurt, you got hurt. Cool. That's how we make a bridge to one another. But sometimes it is the people that just constantly give, and then we give the analogy of the cup being filled. If you constantly pouring yourself out to all the other cups, who putting back into your cup?
I mean, that's the biggest thing right now is
And this again, we don't have to name names because you shouldn't apply it to yourself. We're gonna say another oldie but goldie if the shoe fits.
now. But let's, because I did say that about trauma bonds, and I love that you
Trauma
brought that up
bonds.
because when you're in the darkness, you want somebody in the darkness with you.
Right.
But I also
Crossing my
said, if
feet.
you remember, I also told that trauma bonds ain't healthy at all.
I didn't say it was
You
healthy.
know, and
I,
not all of them are healthy, because some of them, like you, because we're going through trauma. Like when we
no,
think about it,
that's
what we went through.
absolutely terrible. It's not healthy whatsoever.
No, but I mean, if you think about it, there's a healthy version and there's a non-healthy.
Elaborate.
Because imagine our trauma. You know what we went through growing up, right?
We finna get into it.
Let's. I mean, we saw a lot. We saw a lot where we grew up. We dealt with a lot where we grew up.
Yes, that.
And I mean, when we cat and machetes. Okay, that's all I gotta say, right?
It will never not be a time where that was questionable.
So when we talk about trauma bonds and all of that, we use that as motivation to get away.
Mm-hmm.
We still friends, even we went through all of that. So in ways, trauma bonds can be healthy, but then in ways they're not, when one person is trying to heal and the other person is holding on to the trauma and trying to keep them there. So I think you have to, that's another thing where, like when mentally you're trying to get out of that space and you have built that bond with somebody and they're trying to keep you there because they're there still. They're not really ready to be out of the space. So it's just I think you really have to pay attention to that companionship that you have around you, and understand, is this a companionship because we are struggling together or because we have this trauma together, or is this a companionship that wants to see me be better and I want to see them be better, so we're going to keep pulling each other up.
Right. But before we get all the way into that, that is on topic, but the topic at hand is self-care. So self-care, I would love to see the comments or see somebody say something about it, just because I don't think that we have that as a person when you think about it. Because instantly, if you got a family, you try to become a selfless person, or you should become selfless and try to sacrifice and do things. And
Yeah.
We all wear so many hats every day. You gotta, once you take off one hat, another hat's already there. Oftentimes, you barely get to do anything, and your time is just taken up. It's just like it feels like enough time is not in the day.
Honestly, I wish I could say that my lack of self-care came from like families, because like when it started with like me having kids, a lot of times as a parent you give up taking care of yourself to take care of your family,
Right.
but mine started way before that. I knew it. It was trying to keep my family close and together before I even had kids.
Right. But see, the thing about that is that's not your job.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. So when you do that, you miss out on key portions of your life. So then you start not being able to enjoy being a teenager, being a young adult. And then you went from that to being committed to somebody, and then furthering a commitment, getting married, and then having another commitment and having children. So all we did was keep adding commitments. So where's the time where you could have been young, Michael?
Well, but at some point you have to let go of those because you drown in them. So there are some that I chose and some that I've let go. And my kids and my wife will always be a commitment that I am gonna take care of. And some other ones you got to let go, because, I mean, when I say I was drowning at one point, I was drowning. And the people close to me, they know. I don't even think they really know. The people, I think my wife knows and you know, and maybe one other person knows, like how deep I was into depression because I wasn't taking care of myself. And right. It was on a completely different level than what it is now. But now I'm still not fully taking care of myself, but there are small things that I do to try to incorporate that. So,
right. But see, the thing about that is I saw that way before you got there, way before it became an apparent sign, way before anything was on set. I saw some of those things happen. But that's what I'm saying is, you never had the time to do that. So with all the stuff that happened, we just gonna categorize that we seen just stuff with me and you growing up. And then jumping into those things, all we did was kept adding layers. Now, I'm not saying I didn't do the same thing, but in general, it all goes back to your own self care.
Yeah.
So on that note, we just want to know: do you have anything that you do that's self care? How do you take care of yourself, or bring it back to you? Don't forget to follow, like, comment, and subscribe on all of the social medias flashing at the bottom of that banner down there.
Peace.
We out.